5 ways sacred images are supported in the New Testament. In this video, we'll take a quick look at 5 ways the New Testament can be used to support sacred images. I picked this topic because I often hear that some Protestants reject the use of sacred images and think it goes against the Bible. So let's take a look. The most significant passages may be the ones about the Jewish temple. The Jewish temple, located in Jerusalem, was the primary place of worship for the Jews, and it was decorated with sacred imagery. But the early Christians used the temple for worship before separate Christian churches were built. 2 things need to be emphasized here. The early Christians had no problem worshiping in the Jewish temple, and the Jewish temple had sacred images in it. Let's look at number 1 in more detail. The early Christians worshipped in the Jewish temple in the following Bible verses. If you want to look them up, there should be clickable links to all the Bible verses cited in this video down in the video description. Just to cite one verse in particular, Acts 5:42 says, "And every day in the temple and at home they did not cease teaching and preaching Jesus as the Christ." This shows that the early Christians had no problem worshiping in the Jewish temple. As to the fact that the Jewish temple had sacred images in it, you can read these Bible verses to see that the original temple was decorated with sacred imagery. Let's look at one of them. 1 Kings chapter 6, verses 23 to 26, says there were 2 giant statues of angels in the original temple, 10 cubits tall each, and both of them covered with gold. So if anyone says that sacred images are a bad thing, they are arguing against the Bible. Now, someone might object, hey, that was hundreds of years before Jesus' time, right? The temple had changed by the time Christians used it. That's true, but the Jewish historian Josephus says that in Jesus' time the temple of Herod still had sacred images in it, including golden vines, a cluster of carved grapes, and a curtain with a simulation of the stars. So the early Christians worshipped in a building that had sacred images, just like Catholics do today. A second piece of evidence for Christian imagery in the New Testament is also related to the temple. The book of Hebrews significantly mentions the temple, its decorations, and its images in a passage that sounds like a defense of the right of Christians to make physical churches. By saying even the first covenant had an earthly sanctuary with images of cherubim decorating it, it sounds like the author is defending the right of Christians to have similar buildings. A third piece of evidence for Christian imagery in the New Testament is in John 3:14-15. There, Jesus brings up the story of a bronze statue that Moses made at the command of God, and Jesus says it was a figure of his crucifixion. This suggests that there can be legitimate statues of Jesus' crucifixion. Also, St. Paul possibly mentions an early crucifix in Galatians 3:1. Even if it wasn't a crucifix, St. Paul still, at the very least, compares it to something graphical twice. It was before your eyes that Jesus Christ was publicly portrayed as crucified. Galatians chapter 3, verse 1. In this passage, St. Paul, at the very least, compares the vividness of the crucifixion to an image in a positive way. This counts as a fourth piece of evidence for New Testament support of Christian imagery. A fifth piece of evidence is this. Several of the passages of the Bible are described in vivid detail that paints a mental picture in the minds of listeners. It is only a natural development of this that these vivid descriptions would be painted. Thus, Christian imagery goes back to the New Testament and developed from that source. Thank you for watching this video, and do stay tuned because I hope to make more videos soon.